Okay, before we move on with absolutely nothing selected on the screen or the artboard, I want you to notice that in our appearance panel at the top it says nothing is selected, no selection, but it does have the banner graphic style applied to it, which seems kind of weird. When you apply appearance settings, graphic styles, these types of things, the next shape you draw will automatically have the same appearance settings that your previous one did. So if we were to draw something brand new, it would automatically have this banner graphic style applied to it. That's just the default behavior of Illustrator. All right, adding a graphic style to an entire layer. So when a style is applied to an entire layer, everything on that layer has the same style applied to it. So we need to go to our layers panel over here, and we need to target the layer called the text banner, which is highlighted, but we need to click on our appearance button here, the target icon right here, to select it. That's going to automatically select everything on that layer. And in our appearance panel, you can see that we're targeting an entire layer. In our graphic styles panel, we're going to choose the option to add a drop shadow, which is this third one over. And notice that gave drop shadows to the two banners as well. The target icon over here is also filled in now, showing us that there is something applied, and we can look in our appearance panel and see that this entire layer has the graphic style called drop shadow applied to it. If you wanted to apply multiple graphic styles, you can do that as well. The trick is when you come over and grab one, you need to hold Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC to add it rather than to replace it. Single clicking is going to replace, option clicking is going to add it to graphic styles. All right, let's click away to deselect everything. And the final topic is scaling of strokes and effects. So we've seen this before. By default, when we resize content, any strokes or effects that have been applied to it don't change. So if we had a circle with a 2-point stroke that was very small on our artboard and we enlarged it quite a bit, it's still going to keep that 2-point stroke. That's usually not what you want to happen. Usually you want your special effects and strokes to scale with it proportionately. So down at the bottom here, there's a building. We want to do a couple of things. We're going to first click down here to get this entire group so we can see that we have the orange piece, and we're going to double click to get into isolation mode. The mustard colored rectangle itself, if we look in our appearance panel, is dark mustard, and it has a 36-point light stroke all around it. It's not two rectangles stacked, it's one rectangle with a very thick stroke. I just wanted to show that to you, so escape out of isolation mode and click to deselect. And then we want to select this again. So there's a building and the shape. Before we move on, we want to come over to our properties panel, and we're up in the transform area. We have the 3 dots with extra information, and we're going to click on that. And we are going to scale strokes and effects. We're going to turn that on so that all of these pieces scale proportionately. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to hold the key down, and we're going to start hold shift while you drag so that it stays proportionate, and we're just going to make it smaller down to the point of only being about 1 inch, 0.3 wide, really teeny tiny, and it doesn't really matter. But the point is everything's scaled proportionately. This 36-point stroke is no longer 36 points, and that's what we were going for. It's much smaller now. All right, we can deselect and save, and we are done with this poster. So we added some pretty cool features here using special effects, the appearance panel, and graphic styles. So file, save as, I'm just going to call this end, And we are done with chapter 13. A lot of cool things you can do with your artwork if you remember all these features.